The Ukraine reportedly ready to sign mineral deal with the United States of America. Guys, we needed that to happen a while ago. Like, I mean, a long while ago, right? So immediately, once we actually do have any interest, let's say, in the Ukraine, Putin, in fact, is not going to step over our interests. You are basically solidifying a long-term deal, right? It's smart, Zelensky. Right? I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in here. That's the smartest thing that you can possibly do. Like, even after coming to the United States of America and acting the way you acted in the White House, bro, right? We're still ready to take that deal. It's going to benefit us. And it's a good thing because we've donated a lot of money to the cause here. A lot of people have lost their lives due to a lot of the things that have been going on, guys, out there specifically. So the faster we can actually get this mineral deal signed, the faster the loss of life will slow. Because again, Putin is not going to attack American interests. Not like that, right? That would be bad, bro. Right? Either way, this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go ahead and jump into this video immediately.
And Ukrainian officials are reportedly ready to sign a mineral resource deal with the U.S. as soon as today.
Okay.
This as Ukraine says Russia launched over 100 attack drones overnight, killing at least one person and injuring dozens just a week before a proposed 3-day ceasefire. Let's bring in ABC's
Never
chief
believe a
foreign
ceasefire
correspondent
with Russia.
Ian Panel for
Never.
more. Ian, I want to start with this mineral deal with the U.S. because President Zelensky was supposedly ready to sign it in February, but then it got derailed in that heated Oval Office meeting. So what are you watching for now?
Yeah, I mean, it got derailed not just because of the tone of the meeting, but because of the content of the document that was being proposed by the United States. It was a non-starter for Zelensky. He has to get it ratified by the Ukrainian parliament, and it was totally unsellable. Essentially, the first draft of the deal was looking for Ukraine to pay back all the money that the United States had spent on military and other assistance. There were figures used by President Trump, which were certainly far larger than the actual amounts that had been spent. What we understand, and this is a source speaking to ABC News, is that Ukraine is ready to sign a mineral deal, that the first deputy prime minister is currently in Washington. It could happen as soon as today, but we have to wait and see. A number of outlets are reporting this, and certainly what's out there suggests that perhaps this deal will essentially cover any future assistance given by the United States to Ukraine in its ongoing conflict with Russia. And I think that would be highly significant if that change is made. But we have to wait and see what the detail is.
Meanwhile, Ian, U.S. State Department officials are downplaying Russia's ceasefire proposal. So where do things stand on that, especially after these new attacks in Ukraine?
Yeah, that's right. The State Department was pretty dismissive, and Ukraine has been as well. I mean, again, Ukraine insisting that, you know, this has to begin with at least a 30-day ceasefire, and that's something that the United States wants as well. In other words, not just a unilateral 3-day ceasefire on the Kremlin's terms, which is what is being proposed. In other words, a 3-day ceasefire in time for Victory Day celebrations. Remember, it's the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War, and there are huge celebrations planned in Russia, and that's when President Putin wants this ceasefire to take place. I think for American Ukraine, this has to be the start of something more meaningful. But we are interestingly seeing, and you saw that in Terry's interview, a slight shift in tone from Washington towards the Kremlin. Diane?
Absolutely, there is.
All right, Chief Foreign.
I mean, guys, there's going to have to consistently be a shift towards the Kremlin here, guys. I mean, who's Putin? Who was he? Let's just say that, right? How much you know about the KGB? Like, how much you understand about the concept of cloak and dagger, right? Like, the deeper you dig, let's say, into this story here, you'll start to immediately realize that, bro, I don't believe it. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. We're gonna do a ceasefire over Easter. Okay, yeah. It's hard to believe, bro. I mean, all of this is really coming down to a more recent issue, let's say, regarding Crimea. Russia specifically wants Crimea. Period. It's theirs. Their head. That's mine, bro. They're like, basically, be lucky I'm allowing you to think you're separate, Ukraine. Basically, is what's happening in his head, at least, guys. There are not many countries specifically that would side with Russia by saying Russia owns Crimea. You understand this? And the countries that do actually side with them are generally the countries, if you're from the West, you don't really want to be in the first place, guys. And the rest of the world does not acknowledge Crimea being Russia. It says it's Ukraine. Um, now, Zelensky is trying really, really, really hard to attempt to at least maintain the Ukraine as it was. But the problem is that they really do not have the ability to stop Russia without the aid of everyone else. You get what I'm saying here, guys? Specifically the United States of America and the UK, like specifically France, right? Like, I mean, you don't have much to fight against, you know. What am I trying to say here? Let me rephrase that. You don't have much to add to the fight, basically. You don't. You're going to have to sign a deal with Russia that you don't like. There are no other options here. Like, I refuse to back the concept of going into WW3 for the Ukraine. I refuse it. I refuse it, guys. And NATO basically backs that entire statement also. Okay, understand. But either way, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I do think this deal is going to be good for both parties. That's the middle ground, I think. I think a lot of people are behind this mineral deal. I'm not even sure Trump came up with the mineral deal. He probably was like, hey, listen, bro, we need to get something back for all this money we're spending while people are struggling in the United States of America. I get that, right? The entire situation in the Ukraine raised our national debt, guys. It did. Like, I mean, it just did. Why are we doing that? Why people are complaining about the economy? Why we need some of that money back? Like, I don't blame Trump for being like, hey, listen, bro, we gave you hundreds of billions of dollars. We need some of that back. Okay? We need some of that back immediately. That's just how things need to go. Either that or give us a really crazy deal in minerals and put our interest into your country. So when Putin brings tanks into the nation, they're not going to attack American soil. If that makes any sense here. Those minerals are ours. You get what I mean? Like, I think that's the only smart way here, bro, because again, the Ukraine really can't do anything to stop Putin, right? They can't, and they cannot afford to enter into NATO. The United States of America is not going to allow the Ukraine into NATO, while also Russia at the same time is like, hey, bro, listen, if you let them into NATO, we have a problem on a global scale. Okay. Then obviously the constant like nuke threats and things like that Russia basically delivers. Because, but I do also understand that it's really hard to, guys. It's nearly impossible, let's say, to get them to stick to their word. And I think that's kind of the reality. And this is why I'm like, bro, I don't even know if these ceasefires even matter in this context. Like, do they even matter, bro? Like, speaking about, like, asking Putin to stick to his word on a ceasefire, does it even matter based off of all of the evidence that we've just encountered, right? Does it even matter? No. That's why our interests need to be there, because now you're attacking America. All right. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.